Babylist. Is this baby registry really a budget registry?
It's actually really funny that they put this in health and safety.
If you're on a budget, don't buy multiple crib mattresses for one baby.
It's a bizarre option to put on a budget baby registry.
Why is this such a good idea for parents to be?
Anything terry cloth that's supposed to be for babies is garbage. You wouldn't buy this one.
Welcome to the Baby Registry Breakdown Podcast, where each week we break down a new baby registry that comes directly from you. But this being our first episode, we're doing something a little bit different. We're actually going to Babylist and we're looking at their suggested budget registry. And the cool thing about this is we get to go through each one of these items and actually see, is this baby registry really a budget registry? You'll find out our thoughts on the overall registry later in the podcast, so make sure to stay tuned for that. This is Paris. I'm Kevin. We are designers turned twin parents, and we just became obsessed with baby gear, so we started helping people over at Pabbit.com put together their baby registries, and now we're going to break down the Babylist registry one by one. If you want to submit your baby registry to us, make sure to go over to Pabbit.com and do that. We'll have links in the show notes below. This registry starts with a feeding section. That's typical with the Babylist baby registry. And the first item they have on there is the bib. It's the AEIOU Bib. So my problem with this is it has that big silicone scoop front. We had something very similar, never found it very practical. It didn't really stop spills. I just don't like this design overall. And then the buttons. I don't know if the buttons make sense, especially when you're trying to get these things off fast. I feel like Velcro is really the way to go. What do you think?
These are for babies that are 6 months old or older. And when they get to that age, usually they're eating solids that are messy. So you want something that's going to really protect the surfaces, like their bodies and their clothing and maybe your floor and the surrounding area. This does not do that. It only would catch a very small amount. Maybe they drop a chicken nugget or something into it, but you probably wouldn't have a problem with a chicken nugget on the floor.
The other thing to think about with that is eating when they first start in solids. It's really about doing that fine motor skill development. And to me, the scoop just gets in the way. They just need to be able to access their tray, move their arms around, push their food around, start learning how to pick it up with their fingers, and they don't need all this extra material getting in between them and their plate.
Yeah, in my opinion, this really is just for people who like the colors. What you really want is something that's more full coverage, like a shirt, works much better than something like this.
I think you had said before that this looks like something that someone without kids would buy for someone without kids.
Yes, that is generally who buys these things. People who don't have kids buying it for people who are about to have kids but don't have them yet.
Yeah, I just don't get the whole pockets on bibs thing.
Honestly, the one that we have, I believe it's Tiny Winkle. That's the brand of bib. It's a shirt bib. It has a pocket at the bottom, but it's not necessarily for catching food. It's more for hanging it on the back of your high chair when you're done. Or it can be actually folded in a specific way that it folds up into itself.
Yeah, I think, too, that's a good point with the shirt bib, because I think with the size of this, when it comes to cereals, you're getting no coverage. No. You're changing them no matter what. The bib's not really doing anything.
Yeah. This thing, you're just going to have to wash it with everything else, like your floor, the entire high chair, the whole entire child.
Let's take a look at the next item on the list, and that is the Lansinno Smart Pump 3.0 Lifestyle Set. This is a budget baby registry, and they included a pump here. But as we know, a lot of times with many health insurance providers, they're going to provide for at least one baby pump.
Yes, you do have to ask for a prescription from your doctor for the breast pump. Generally, I believe with all U.S. health insurance plans, they do have breast pumps included. So it's bizarre that they would put this on the registry, on the budget registry. You would probably buy something like the LV breast pump that is completely hands-free. It can go inside of your bra all by itself. So you don't have to worry about cords or plugging it in or anything like that. This is not one that you would buy separately.
Let's look at the next item, the Medalla Harmony Manual Breast Pump with Personal Fit Flex. What do you think about this?
I think that this is a really bizarre choice.
Okay.
Considering that this is not the same brand of the breast pump that they included, which They do have.
You're talking about from the standpoint of compatibility. This isn't going to be compatible. It's going to require different bottles, different everything than the Lansinno.
The bizarre thing to me that is specific to this registry is the fact that Babylist has on their website a Lansinno manual breast pump that is $10 cheaper.
Just get them all the same is what you're saying.
You'd want to get one that's compatible with the breast pump that you have on your registry.
Yeah, that makes
which
sense.
is not the Medalla.
You get this breast pump, but then get the kit that goes with it. And
honestly, no. I would say no. Don't. Either way, I would say this is still.
Don't listen to me on the breast pump.
I would say that
I don't know.
This is still not one that you would put on here.
Yeah.
Either way, even if it were the Lansinno one, I would put the Haka.
Okay.
Which is $12, and is one silicone piece, one solid piece of silicone. They have several different versions of it, depending on your needs. But yes, it is cheaper.
So the Haka is the way to go there.
Yeah.
So next we have the Boppy times Babylist Original Feeding and Infant Support Pillow Sand, Stick, and Twig. So this one is great for all you sad beige baby folks. Yeah. And Boppy, it's the name brand as far as nursing pillows go.
It is, yeah. And there's nothing wrong with that. Some people really like this one.
With the Boppy pillows, depending on the design, you'll see different price points. Just shop around and look for the one that's best for your decor. And next we have something that we really like, which is the Babylist Bottle Box. Parents, why is this such a good idea for parents to be?
Babies don't necessarily like every single kind of bottle that is out there. This gives you the option to try the best brands, the ones that are most popular, that babies seem to like the best, on the market currently. Your baby will not use them for very long. It just allows your baby to pick the one that they like the best and then use it.
Yeah, which isn't a bad idea for $33. Now, if you're on a really tight budget, this might not be the way to go, or because you might just end up having to cycle through these. Bottles are relatively inexpensive. I feel like it's really worth trying it rather than to deal with the hassle of a baby that constantly spits up or won't eat, especially if you're strictly formula feeding and it's not something you're just doing supplemental, because you're talking about doing this 5-6 times a day. And you obviously want your baby to go along with it and be good. And I think when we look at the bottles specifically that they have here pictured, which is not necessarily what you're going to get, these are all really good bottles in terms of...
Just to clarify, these are the bottles that you are going to get.
Oh, you will get those specific bottles. Okay.
Not necessarily those colors.
Got it. Got it. Yeah.
These are the bottles that you will get, yes.
Yeah.
Nano Baby, Komatomo, Nuke, Dr. Brown's, and Boone.
Yeah, all pretty good bottles, and you just have to see among these which ones your baby likes, and then go from there. I think that's a really good way to do it, and something I'd recommend.
Yeah, the other thing is that you will only be using this for about 2 months. They'll start eating more than 4 ounces. You won't be able to fit enough in there. By that time, your baby probably will already have decided which one they like the best. So then you can go all in on that brand, buy a whole bunch of the bottles that your baby has chosen.
Okay, and this is a great idea, especially for a baby registry, but it makes no sense with this next item, which is the Dr. Brown's Options Plus Newborn Starter gift set. This is a little bit redundant because you want to try these bottles, and it's easy enough nowadays with shipping being what it is with Amazon. Before you even get home, you can have these, a bottle waiting on your doorstep, depending on where you live. So I don't know about investing in a bunch of 8-ounce bottles, a bottle kit that's part 4 ounce and 8 ounce of a specific bottle before trying them out.
Not to mention that Dr. Brown's is one of, if not the most popular bottle brand currently.
It's a good bottle.
It is available everywhere.
You can go to Walgreens.
You can go and buy one. You
can go to the drugstore. Yeah, CVS.
Yeah, putting this on your registry does not make any sense, considering this is a budget registry and you have the bottle box. No, you don't want to do that. Yeah.
I imagine for that number of bottles, if you bought the gift set like this, it is less expensive than buying them individually, say from a drugstore or something. But still, I think it's worthwhile just holding off and then just getting the bottle that sort of jives with your infant. Yeah. Next up, we have the Gerber flannel burp cloth. And I actually did some reconnaissance work. This says this one's available at Walmart, and it is available at Walmart, but the problem is that it's on clearance. It's nice putting items that are on clearance and saving your friends and family some money potentially, but the problem is by the time they get to it, it may not be available. It may not be available online or on the shelf.
Yeah. And not to mention that these are flannel burp cloths. Flannel, when I think of flannel, I do not think of something that's very absorbent.
I don't know, it could be. It just depends, I think, on the fiber content.
Either way, you can buy muslin burp cloths.
Okay, yeah.
For about the same price that are much more absorbent and honestly cuter.
Yeah. Right. Even for the price, this may not be the best burp cloth.
Maybe the Amazon price, maybe.
This one, it's going away, but yeah, there's probably better options for burp cloths. Next, we have the TrendLab Bib and burp cloth set. So now we have a set with burp cloths. I guess it just depends on what your situation is with the laundry. If you have a washing machine, if you're having to take the baby to a laundromat, but probably overkill on what you really need with the burp cloth, especially if you have washing machine at home.
You took a look at this, right? This is a baby blanket? Or a swaddle blanket?
Yeah, blankets on the registry. Blankets are just going to come out of nowhere and find your baby.
Yes.
You probably don't need a register for blankets.
Please do not put a blanket on your register.
Yeah, overall, I don't understand this set at all. Yeah, so I would just delete this and save yourself some money.
Instead, I would say, instead of this set, put a muslin bib set on there.
Okay, interesting.
A lot of them are cheaper than that. You'll get a lot more use out of them than this particular set that isn't very cheap.
So next we have the Zoli Bot weighted straw sippy cup, seafoam green. I don't know. This absolutely doesn't make any sense to me, especially on a budget baby registry, because it's going to be a while till the baby even gets to this stage of development to need a sippy cup.
You are getting the baby bottle box. So a lot of those bottles, you can get sippy cup tops that go right into those bottles for a fraction of the price.
I think that's an interesting thing too, because as a first transition from bottles to sippy cups, the thing is, especially if they're formula fed, they become comfortable with the bottle that they use. And just switching the top, it's a level of comfort, but then it's something new, so it's a little bit better slow transition. Rather, when you just hand them a cup, you're like, what is this? They don't know how to work it. It takes them a little bit to figure out. So I like the idea of just switching the top as that first sippy cup. Let's look at the EZPZ times Babylist First Foods gift set. Another one I don't really understand. And this registry so far is really loaded up with gift sets.
Yeah.
And I think gift sets, if you're building a baby registry, they're a little bit hard to manage because you're getting a lot of things that are overlapping, especially if you have a small kitchen, just in this feeding category, a lot of this stuff may not be used and it's going to be taking up a lot of space. Yeah. And I think it's very easy as a parent to get a little bit overly ambitious about having everything matchy-matchy that doesn't necessarily work in the real world, because you'll find in the gift set that maybe you really like one product from it, but you don't like another one. And I think it's really hard to project that without having used them yourself.
Yeah. That said, this gift set, I think it's a decent option.
Okay.
I have my own feelings about suction plates and bowls. They just don't work. It's like, why bother? It's just going to get stuck to your countertop when you're trying to move it to the baby's tray, and it's not going to prevent them from throwing it across the room. They're still going to do it. Yeah.
And I think we had the tray cover. Yeah. So if you're using the suction plate with the tray cover, you can't really pull them apart without spilling it anyways. Yeah, you're going to spill the stuff off the tray cover, or you're going to spill the stuff off of the bowl.
Yeah, a lot of aren't even the right size for these kinds of things. They're too narrow or too small in general, or they have texture to them, and that doesn't allow the suction to work at all. I would instead go for a weighted plate or bowl set. Yeah. If you're going to go for a set.
The thing I don't understand with the weighted is, does that mean it's going to fall faster and hit the ground harder and splatter more when the toddler pushes it off?
It's going to splatter the same amount.
Okay.
The idea...
We need to test this. We need to set this up and test this. On a future podcast, make sure to subscribe, because on a future podcast, we're going to have to do this. We're going to have to set up two next to each other, weighted, not weighted, and see which one splatters more. I don't know. It's something I want to try. The next thing is the Inglecina fast table chair, dark green. We looked at this one. I don't know that it makes a lot of sense, and it was maybe a little bit even scary, the way that you have to install these.
Not only that, it's a bizarre option to put on a budget baby registry.
Yeah, for sure.
Considering that the IKEA Antelope high chair only costs $30. And this is $80.
Yeah.
$79.
Only buying a portion of the chair isn't saving you any money.
No.
You might as well just buy a full height chair for less money.
You're relying on the clamps to hold your child up
Right.
on the table. So what if the table isn't sturdy, or what if the table has a slant to it or some kind of thing? It's not compatible with every single table. But it has a fabric cover that's going to be obnoxious to clean.
Yeah, and to me, this seems like one of those items that you like register for, and then you have to deal with trying to return at some point. And you have to deal with trying to return it way down the road because they're not using this thing for at least 6 months.
I've known a couple people who
Maybe
have
4
these
months.
or something similar to them, and not a single one of them like them.
So pass on this one. Pass on the fast table chair. Not appropriate for a budget baby registry for sure. So now we're going to get into the sleeping category, and right off the bat we have the Halo Bassinest Flex Sleeper, which is I think a pretty popular option, but I don't know that it's a great option, especially on a budget baby registry at $100. The debate always is, do we really need a bassinet?
Yeah.
I think right now, as long as you can do it, you might as well just go to a mini crib if you're really going to follow the AAP recommendations of having the baby in your room for the first year, because they're going to outgrow the bassinet by the time that they need to move out, and it's probably pretty hard to fit a full-size crib in your room. So I don't even know if a bassinet makes sense in general. But with this one specifically, I see a lot of complaints about the baby rolling. And I don't know, I think that might be an installation issue or an issue with the legs and the floor.
I think it might have to do with the legs, because it is on an angle.
Yeah.
That and holding the
Right.
bassinet. So if that's not perfectly aligned in the way that it should be, it's going to be slightly tilted. So the baby might have trouble laying flat in their crib. Or
Right.
in their bassinet. And they might roll. The under the bed... That's the idea of it, is you push it under the bed, and
I think so.
is next to your
Right next to your
bedside.
bed.
That doesn't actually end up being super convenient. We had them at the end of the bed just because of our room size. But even if they were on the side, that would have been difficult for me because I had a C-section. Just getting into the position to be able to feed them with that being right there would have been very difficult for me.
Yeah, and I know like in that first week, it felt like I was constantly like reaching over the side of the bed and pulling them in and out from the bassinet. But I think the problem with this one is like, this wouldn't have worked in where we lived, because we lived in a city apartment, relatively small bedroom, small space in general. When you live in an apartment like that and you live in the city, you're trying to put stuff wherever you can, including under the bed.
Yeah.
Trying to clear the space for the legs to go under the bed, I just don't think it makes sense in a small living space. But the thing I keep looking at this as a designer, someone who's building products, is it has that wishbone thing, which is always a problem, where the legs, they're separate and they're far apart. So then it's hard to get it level because there's nothing connecting them at the bottom.
And also, this being on the budget registry is a little odd, because there are some highly rated bassinets that are only around $50.
Yeah.
So having this one at $100 on a budget registry doesn't really make sense to me. Although Halo is a good brand of bassinet.
Yeah.
I would probably just go on Facebook Marketplace.
Yeah.
For one. They aren't used for very long.
Yeah, secondhand. It's not hard to find bassinets out there that they never even got used, that are being sold secondhand, new in the box even.
It is hard to follow the guidelines of keeping babies in your room for as long as they recommend. We only made it about 3 or 4.
I think it's really dependent on your circumstances, because if the babies are down the hall, whereas we had them just like on the other side of these paper thin walls, and could hear them relatively easy and get to them, and as fast as we could roll over to the side of the bed, really. I think a lot of that makes a difference and has to play into the safety recommendations. What I would really like to see, though, is a little bit more background on some of these recommendations. I've been through the articles. I think a lot of times it's expected that parents are going to take this on faith. And then when they're in these tough circumstances, it's a little bit better, I think, to know some of the background on why. The reasons behind it.
because you want to do what's best and
Right.
really stress about it. The building that we lived in was really old, and so the only place to put them was not a level surface.
The floors are all
They were
crazy.
leaning.
Yeah. So it's just you're trying to like just do your best, and you really want to know, like, you want to gauge everything together, all the information that you have, and when you only have we recommend that you do this without any background. It's hard to know whether you're doing the best thing.
Yeah.
Let's go to the next item on here. It is the Graco Premium Foam Crib Toddler and Toddler mattress in a box.
One of the mattresses that's on this list.
There's multiple mattresses on this list, which would make no sense for a budget baby registry.
It's bizarre for several reasons.
Mm-hmm.
A, you do not need more than one crib mattress. You just need one crib mattress. You do not need two.
Yeah, parents-to-be, there's really no situation where you're ever going to need two crib mattresses unless you have multiples. And I don't think this registry was intended for multiples. Obviously, Babylist, let us know if we're wrong about that. But yeah, if you're on a budget, don't buy multiple crib mattresses for one baby.
But also, the crib that was put on this registry has the option to have included with it a mattress.
Okay.
For a little bit more money. I believe for less than the price of one of these mattresses, you could just buy the crib that includes the mattress with it.
Okay.
It's not the option that they've put on here.
Got it.
But if you do go on to Amazon, I believe, they have right below it the option for with a mattress.
That's good to know. Delta Children Heartland 4-in-1 convertible crib. Delta, obviously one of the biggest brands when it comes to cribs. I think the one thing that we noticed with ours is that the paint finishes really come off fast when you've got teething toddlers standing up in them and chewing on the edges.
This crib with the mattress included on Amazon is $209. Really not bad. Actually, we have the Delta Children mini cribs.
Yeah, that's
for
right.
our twins with the included mattresses. And altogether, including the mattress, each crib was around $135. And they're still using those mattresses.
So let's talk about the convertible part of this, because it says 4-in-1 convertible. Yes. But are you actually buying anything that's able to convert to anything in this?
No, you are not. No, you are not. So you are able to take off the side, and that is your toddler bed. I believe there is a rail that you can buy to put along the side if you wanted to be like a toddler bed.
It says convertible, but technically you're not buying something that is 4-in-1. You're buying something that you can buy a kit to convert to.
Which, the kits, if you want to turn this into pretty much anything else, it's going to cost you about the same price as the crib.
Yeah. So just keep that in mind. You're really not buying 4-in-1 anything. You're buying 1-in-1.
Don't let this sway you. Also, like Kevin said before, your child might be devouring the edge of the crib, so you might not ever want this piece.
That's the thing. Yeah, that's it. Next, we have the Swaddle Me Original Swaddle 3-pack, and this always cracks me up. I'm like, I'm gonna take 30 minutes, learn from whatever YouTube video I can find, and learn how to swaddle practicing on a baby doll, and was perfectly fine when they arrived. So many parents are like, no, it's just so much easier to buy the swaddle wrap.
You don't necessarily know what your baby's gonna. Some babies like their arms up or out. Some babies like to be swaddled with their arms down. Most babies are swaddled at least for the first month. The great thing about the swaddle blankets, though, is that you can use them as lightweight blankets.
They're multifunctional, right? Whereas a swaddle, you're never going to use it for anything but that, like with these.
Or a sudden spit up and you don't have a burp cloth available, you got a swaddle blanket. If you have a few of those, then that's great. With this, you're just stuck with it is what it is. Honestly, this is not a bad price.
The thing is, with these, it's the hook and loop closures, so that means Velcro.
Yeah, you're going to wake your baby up.
Yeah, it's just that rip of the
try being quiet with Velcro.
No, I don't know.
There's no way.
The whole reason that swaddles are recommended is to prevent the startle reflex, and that's why in the hospital they're swaddling babies right away.
Swaddled, pretty much.
So if you don't want to learn how to swaddle a baby with a blanket, this could be a way to go. And actually, for the price, probably not a bad way to go. Next thing we have is the Lullaby Earth Super Lightweight Eco Plus Crib Mattress. So this is our second mattress.
Yeah.
More expensive.
This is completely bizarre.
Made in the USA, which is always nice. Meets all the typical certifications.
There's nothing wrong with it.
Yeah,
I
think it looks like a decent mattress.
If you were actually trying to create a budget registry with this, though, just delete both of those and get the crib with the mattress included, because that's the actual budget way to go.
Now let's take a look at this Safety First Easy Saver diaper pail. And I think actually for the money, we were talking about this a little bit before, probably a pretty good diaper pail overall.
Yeah, it is not cute. It's something that you don't want to have out. You want to put it in a vase, like a big vase or something, I don't know, hide it.
A vase.
It's not cute. It is budget friendly, and you can use your own garbage bags. So that's an expense saved.
Yeah, that's always a good thing with the diaper pails, when you can use your own garbage bags.
And the great thing is there is the option on Amazon to get a 3-pack of them for $90. That would be great if you have multi-level, or if you're like moving around the house a lot. You could have one on each floor or one in each room.
One for the garage.
That wouldn't be a bad idea at all. I actually really like that as an option.
Yeah, that's a good idea. Even if it's not your main diaper pail, get a 3-pack if you have a bigger place, or you can send one to grandma's house or something. Yeah. Even multiple locations. You have some diaper pail coverage. I think that's a pretty good deal. $89.97 for the pack of 3. You're not really saving money over just buying one. Come on, Amazon. Let's give us a break for 3.
It is a decent diaper pail, and the reviews seem to
at a decent price.
Be positive.
The next one is the Key Babies Original Diaper Backpack Classic Gray, $45. Pretty good price for a diaper bag overall. It has a nice look. If anyone has this diaper bag, hit us up in the comments if you're watching this on YouTube, and let us know a little bit about the construction, because we haven't had a chance to look at this in person. Mm-hmm. I do like the color, and I do like the other color as well.
It does look like it's a little bit
I like all
small,
3 colors.
Which is fine. This for one child, for one baby, for like a day trip possibly. This would be a decent option.
Or even as a second diaper bag.
Yeah, this is probably not one that you would want to use going for overnight or for like 12 hours.
Right, you need a second bag.
It is a little bit small.
Probably better if you're going with a 2-bag strategy.
Yeah.
Okay, the next item on the list is the Summer Contour Changing Pad with liner. Yeah, pretty basic.
For this particular one, the liner doesn't fit the entire thing. It looks like it has maybe 2 to 3 inches on either side that the liner does not cover.
Oh.
On either end. Also, I have done a little bit of research, and this is not even close to the most budget option for this style even.
Yeah.
Not this brand. You can get one of these for around $18.
This one, definitely skip it.
Yeah, the liner does not necessarily provide much of a benefit there, and
No.
a lot of those do come with actual covers.
And then the next thing, we have the Up and Up fragrance-free baby wipes, which I would say...
Don't put on your registry.
Yeah, doesn't really make sense for registry.
It's something that doesn't go on your registry. The same thing with the diapers.
It's definitely a commodity thing that you're going to be buying over and over at the grocery store a lot for many years. Yeah. And I don't think it's something that people really want to buy for friends and family when they're expecting.
This is a very small pack of newborn diapers, which you will need. You will definitely want to have newborn diapers and size 1 diapers.
Yeah.
Before baby is born.
Yeah.
For sure. You will. As well as wipes. But this is not something that would be smart, I don't think, to put on your baby registry. Mm-hmm. You would rather have somebody buy you something that you need off your registry that's not more of a grocery item.
$4.12 at Walmart. And
it's not bad.
And I think especially being on a budget, the Parents' Choice are pretty good diapers. Really. They are. And I don't mind using those. Next, let's go into the baby gear section, which I think is always a weird section with the Babylist registries. I don't really understand baby gear. I think of everything as baby gear. Yes. This is really, to me, travel or transportation. So we have the stroller, the Graco Fast Action Fold Sport Clip Connect travel system in the Gotham colorway, black and gray.
A lot of these, not this one, but a lot of them, they actually turn into like bassinets that are more for like infants.
Yeah.
With this one, you'd have to snap in the car seat until the baby can sit up on their own and use the 5-point harness, which will probably be sometime after they're 6 months old, at least. So this is really, honestly, very silly and expensive, too, for a travel system like this. There's a lot of other options out there. Some much better looking options and some more practical options, I'd say.
I think it would be worthwhile to go back and look and see how fast action this really is, and if you're saving much from that. The next we have the Cosco Scenera Next convertible car seat, and
this isn't convertible in the way that you think it's convertible. It means that it can go from rear facing to forward facing. However, the maximum weight limit on this is 40 pounds.
Okay.
It doesn't matter if it's rear or front facing, the maximum weight limit is 40 pounds. And I just want to say that the travel system that they put on here with the stroller and the infant car seat, the maximum weight for the infant car seat is 35 pounds.
Oh,
so
okay.
This is completely useless.
Yeah.
Yes, you do not.
Yeah, I don't know. That doesn't even make any sort of sense for a convertible car seat like this.
This is not an actual convertible car seat.
Yeah, these days you're going to need that up until over 100 pounds maybe.
For people who do not know, kids have to stay in their car seat for a lot longer. And you really want them to for safety. But there are car seats that you can buy where your child can sit in it comfortably until they're about 10 years old without having to buy a new car seat. They can literally go from being a 4-pound baby until they're 10 years old and 120 pounds in one car seat.
Yeah, so just skip this one and get one that they can be in for life, I think is the point there.
It'll save you money over time to just do that.
That's a silly choice. Yeah. Infantino Flip Advanced 4-in-1 convertible carrier is the next item on our list, and this looks like a relatively simple, lightweight, easy to wear carrier. I actually kind of like this item as I'm looking at it. The color's not bad.
We actually used one, if not that almost exact one, and it was okay. Honestly, I don't think it's for every climate. I found it really, really hot. Now, keep in mind that I used this when I was just maybe like 3 months postpartum, like in the spring in the Midwest. To me, it was very, very uncomfortable and hot.
Yeah, so, I see the straps are fairly wide, which they need to be. There's a lot of things to adjust here, which I think might become a pain in the neck over time.
It is a budget option, so I guess you can just take it as a budget option. It does function, but this is not the best option.
$25 on Amazon. I think, it's worth trying out and sending back if it's not working out for you. Yeah. Okay, so the next thing is health and safety, which is, I think, a fairly weird baby registry category. Obviously, you need some of these items. I don't know if they're always the best thing to put on a baby registry. Maybe they get scooped in with another gift because no one's, if you're having a baby shower, probably not. Oh, I'm the one that got you the grooming kit. But I don't know.
We had one on our list that was almost exactly like this. It was not this one. And every single thing on it was garbage or straight up didn't function. It didn't.
Yeah.
I'm not sure that we actually even used any of it. And I have read the exact same thing about this kit.
Yeah.
It's almost...
It does look pretty cheap. And the funny thing is, like, a lot of these items you probably have around your house anyways.
Yeah. Well, a lot of these options you'll either get from the hospital, have in your house already, or they're already on this list.
So okay.
Don't get this. It's a waste of everything. Waste of plastic, waste of space, time.
Yeah, I don't really like that holder. Okay, next we have the Wyze Cam V3. And I think it's funny when you look at some of these like more expensive high-end options where it's really about, I'm going to put a monitor on my baby and it doesn't necessarily even come with a camera. The cameras are sold separately. So it's almost more about weirdly tracking health metrics rather than what it is keeping an eye visually with a camera. So I think it's funny that just a camera would be the budget option at $25.98. It works with Alexa and Google Assistant, so that's cool.
This is probably not something that you want, like, in your child's bedroom.
Night vision, too.
As we all know, Alexa has been hacked quite a few times. People hack Alexas all the time.
Yeah.
And having this hooked up to your child's bedroom doesn't seem like a good idea.
Yeah, I don't know. So it really depends on what your feelings are, with privacy. Maybe you just think the convenience.
It's funny. It's actually really funny that they put this in health and safety. Because I really don't think that's a good idea.
You're a big proponent of the closed circuit approach.
Yes,
Okay.
I think that is important. Also, you can just get a monitor that is only sound for about the same price.
Right.
That
right.
is just it's closed circuit. Nobody can hack it or anything. Obviously, you have to stay within your house, but you wouldn't be leaving your house anyways.
Yeah. So I wonder with this too, because with a lot of, I don't know if it necessarily has to be going over the internet. I wonder if it could be on just your local network, because with a lot of like surveillance cameras and stuff, they can go out to another service on the cloud, but they can also work on a closed circuit. This might be that same option. We'll have to look at that.
For a budget registry, this is like a pretty silly option, I think.
If you're even going to use Alexa, it's saying the Echo Show is required. Interesting.
Either way, there are so many options out there for baby monitors, all different kinds, that range from pretty inexpensive to very expensive. I believe our monitor was only about $50, which is really not that bad.
No.
Considering it has 2 cameras and a monitor, a video monitor and audio monitor. So,
yeah, that's nice.
Yeah, I just wouldn't go that route, but...
Okay, so let's go to the next item, which is the Frida Baby Basics Kit. And, oh man, so much Frida Baby stuff here. I have mixed opinions on most of it. Like, some of the items I really like, and some I couldn't care about. I don't know. A $40 kit with this stuff, I think it is silly, but let's take a look at what we got in here.
It is the snot sucker, the Frida Baby snot sucker, the Windy, the nail clipper and file, and then the Derma Frida, I believe that's what that is, which, you just rub your baby's head to prevent and remove cradle cap.
Some good items.
2 of those items are great for babies.
Yeah. The clipper, you like the file better, the rotary.
An electric nail file is a lifesaver, especially for the first year. I don't know if there's any other way that we would have been able to do it otherwise. Now, the Frida Windy, you help your baby pass gas. We had one that we got for free from some kit or something and never used it. We gifted it to someone else, and I don't know that they ever used it either. So it maybe lives on somewhere. Yeah, I don't know. I would not do that kit. They also have another kit that has all of those items in it, plus more, which I don't know. I am a little bit 50-50 on.
Okay, let's go to the next category, which is the bathing category. And the first item on the bathing category is the Burt's Bees Baby Organic Solid Washcloths 6-pack.
Anything terry cloth that's supposed to be for babies is garbage.
Ah, okay.
If it's a towel, it's going to be the least warm, that's going to be so paper thin and not barely even absorbent little tiny towel. Just use a regular washcloth.
Yeah. And
use regular towels for your baby. Instead of getting these washcloths, I would get just another pack of burp cloths, the muslin burp cloths.
Yeah.
And just use those, because those are like a lot more comfortable.
Yeah. And they work well. But the funny thing, I think in this description, it has imagine the feel of your comfiest t-shirt, which I think is fine, but not for a baby washcloth. I don't think.
That's about as thick as they are, though.
It's another Frida Baby item. The Soft Sink Baby Bath, which I looked into this a little bit, and I really don't know about this thing. First of all, if it's not being propped up, it's a little bit flimsy. And not only that, but I think there's some issues with just the time frame of having a baby bath and when you can wash babies in the sink. And with this specific one, it's probably only going to work in a kitchen sink. I don't know that I really like this approach, maybe other than Grandma's House in a Pinch.
Think about yourself. Are you going to be religious about cleaning all of your dishes and the sink every single time that you eat? When you're extremely sleep deprived, probably not. You're probably going to have a whole pile of dishes in the sink and then nowhere to bathe your baby.
Yeah, for sure. You'll want to back up baby bath if you ever get behind on things. And maybe you can stay on top of it. I know we certainly got way more organized over time, but yeah, it's a lot to deal with at first. I just don't like washing babies in the kitchen generally because the thing is that they say like your dishcloths in the kitchen are dirtier than the dishcloths in the washroom in your bathroom, because you think that would be opposite, but the kitchen actually has a lot of germs and things like that. And it's not that hard to wash the baby in the bathtub.
Yeah.
If you only have a shower, maybe you do something like this, but I still don't know that this is the best option because it has to be, so specifically the right sink for this thing to work.
It seems unhygienic, unsanitary.
Yeah. I just don't know about this overall as an option. So the next item we have is the Burt's Bees Baby Organic Single Ply Hooded Towel. I think this suffers from the same issue as the washcloths.
Yes, and it is an expensive single towel. It looks like, hey, this is going to be pretty large. This is going to be a large towel, nice, cozy thing for my baby that they'll be able to use for a while. No, it's small. Trust us. It's tiny. It's like this.
It's like a hand towel.
It's like that tall.
Yeah.
It's tiny. It's really small. It's
Yeah.
very small. Just use a regular fluffy towel. Even go buy a new towel. It'll be probably cheaper than this, and you can use it later.
Yeah, for sure. The next category that we have here is nursery and decor, and the first item on it is the cream and beige. Surprise, surprise. It seems like a lot of these items are cream and beige.
So, really, you're not supposed to really use things like this over your baby's crib or anything. They advise against it. Hanging anything over baby. Even if it's to distract them while you're changing their diaper, you're really not supposed to do that either. That said, even if you were, this isn't something that you put on your registry. If you like this is something that you buy yourself when you are designing your nursery. This is completely unnecessary and not appropriate for a budget registry.
Yeah, and I think the other thing too with this is I think Etsy's great. I think it's great to support makers and everything. But when you put this on your registry, a lot of times those items are one of one or just one of a handful, and I think you're really taking a chance if it's something you really want as to whether this is going to be available by the time someone gets around to clicking on it. Mm-hmm. The next item we have is the Storkcraft Hoop Glider Rocking Chair, $159.99. I do like the motion of the glider and the ottoman. We didn't have one. We went with a rocking chair. The problem is, especially if you have these over time, there's a lot more mechanically that's happening with these two things, and they're a lot more prone to breaking than a simple rocking chair.
Also, so squishing fingers too.
Yeah, it's not right. It's dangerous once they get mobile.
It is with rocking chairs too, but it's not. There's something about a glider, the way that it glides, that it's just a little bit less predictable for children.
Yeah, I think my biggest problem with this chair and this kind of chairs, especially this one, is it's ugly as hell.
It really is. Yeah, I also feel the same way about the glider as I do about the mobile. This is not something that goes on the registry. Also, when you're very pregnant, you want this already. You don't want to have to be waiting for this. You don't want to be like setting this up. You want to be using it. You want to be putting together your registry.
From your chair.
Yes, from your chair. Yeah. You should already have this by now. It does not go on the registry.
Makes sense. Okay, the next item is the Crane Baby Cotton Canvas Storage Bin Ezra. Of course, another beige item, another item with foxes and owls. I think, man. I
do think it's good, but this is a horrible idea for a baby nursery because, okay, your baby, whether you like it or not, your baby is going to have blowouts. And what are you going to do with those blowouts? You're going to toss them probably into the hamper. This is not washable. So, you will either want to like put something that is either disposable in it or washable in it, which will then take away from the look of this, or just get something that is all plastic that you can wipe down or spray down.
Honest Baby Clothing 5-pack Organic Cotton Long Sleeve Bodysuit is the next item on here as we get into the clothing category. And I think let's just talk about the clothing category overall and whether that's something that's really appropriate for a baby registry or how to treat that.
Okay, for the clothing aspect of it, you are probably going to get a lot of clothes for your baby shower. Depending on what the gender is, if people know the gender, they'll probably give you gender-related or gender-specific clothing.
Yeah.
You'll probably get a lot of 0 to 3 month clothes.
As I scroll through what Babylist has put together here for the budget registry, it looks like a lot of these items are fairly gender neutral. The Honest Baby Clothing 2-pack Organic Sleeper, and maybe you don't agree it's the right thing for a baby registry, but I think these are cute.
The gowns, in theory, these gowns seem like a good idea. We had a gown, and I put it on one of our twins, and it was the ugliest thing I've ever seen. Not to mention their legs, like.
I didn't even see that it was a gown. The pattern's so nice. Maybe we could find this as a sleeper, because I really like this sort of black and white.
You still want to appreciate how adorable your babies are, and these will not make your babies adorable. These will make your babies look weird.
Yeah.
For the ease factor of it, I'm not really sure that they're that easy, because you still have to get their head in it and their arms in it. And I guess the only easy part of it is the diaper changing.
Yeah.
Because you can just pull up the whole thing and change the diaper. But it's really not that much more difficult to change.
Just, unzip or unsnap. Let's talk about the copper pearl top.
For one infant hat.
Yeah.
Absolutely not.
Yeah.
You're more than likely you will get a hat at the hospital. If you feel after that your baby still needs hats.
Like with the AAP recommendations, it recommends that they don't wear hats once they leave the hospital. Maybe that's for outside or going between the car and the and.
It is nice to have a hat. If this is the hat that you want, then by all means get that hat. I would maybe get like a pack of hats or something for the same price. Like that's an expensive hat.
Yeah, and there's a lot of options I think for this kind of thing.
I would only recommend putting a set of newborn clothes, like a whole, just like the one after this, the Gerber organic.
Yeah.
I would do like a set of a color, like a color variation or something, just one set of that, and then you're going home outfit for the baby. That's all that I would do for clothing wise, and I would make sure that's newborn size.
I think it makes it really hard to adopt this registry because clothing is very seasonal it's very regional. Mm-hmm. And they're putting a lot of clothes on here. I think if you did want to just say take the budget registry, you'd have to make a lot of changes here to make this work for you. When you're just borrowing these registries, or even if you're getting the picks from the algorithm, you really have to go through and look at them closely, because there's a lot of items that you're going to be getting that are probably not going to be appropriate for you or your family, that you're just either wasting your money on them. Even if you have the money, you're going to have to deal with getting rid of this stuff at some point. If you're laser focused on getting the right stuff and you want to get the best of the best, you can always reach out to us at pabit.com and we can help you put together the best baby registry absolutely for you with a game plan that goes through the first year. But if you're just picking up something that somebody else has, make sure you go through it item by item and not let them just give you a bunch of stuff that you don't need. Mm-hmm. Next, we have some of the fun little cards, and I actually like that they include these because I think if you're having a friend, they just want to be able to do something that goes beyond a monetary gift or spending money on something. They can help support you in other ways, because the baby registry isn't just about spending money or buying gifts. The baby registry is about ways for your friends and family to support you, and sometimes that goes beyond just being able to buy a certain product and give you a gift nicely wrapped. Sometimes that is being able to lend a helping hand or support you in some other way. So I like that they have these cards on there. Next, we have the Gerber Baby Boys or Girls Wiggle-Proof Jersey Crew Socks 8-pack. I don't know. That's probably not something at all that you would need
probably not.
early on.
Instead of those, I would probably get mittens for your baby if you're living in a warm area or it's summer and your baby will be in short sleeves a lot. You'll want something to cover their hands so they don't scratch their face or scratch themselves. Mittens I would do instead. Okay, let's skip ahead to plain, and here we have the Tiny Love Gemini Magical Tales Black and White playset. A lot going on with this thing, but I do like the fact that they went in all in on the black and white. I think there's some interesting things here on the floor and with the mirrors and things that baby would be interested in. $70, I don't know if that's really a budget option for this kind of thing. No, once again, there are a lot of options in this category. Also, this is really for newborns. This is not something that is going to be interesting to older babies, so I would say that this does not last very long. Also, it seems very short and small. Yeah. Not to mention that one of the absolute most popular toy/play gym things out there right now is called the Kick and Play Piano. Okay, yep. which people swear by.
And that's something that's appealing to both newborns and beyond?
They can use it for quite a while, yes. Okay. Yeah, they can. Yeah. I wouldn't do the one that they have on here. That's not really a budget option.
Next, we have the Graco Pack and Play Portable Play Yard in the rain color, sticking with the beige baby theme of this baby registry. And obviously, there's a lot of options, I think, around this price point. $60 is not bad for...
We actually have this one.
This is the one we have?
It's a different color.
They all look the same.
But yes, we have this one, and this is the absolute best budget pack and play that you can get right now. And it's great. It's just like any other pack and play, except that it's $60.
Yeah. The next item is the first 100 board book box set. 3 books, first 100 words. I think they're useful, and the babies like to go, especially as they learn to talk, what's this, what's this, what's this. They're very boring for parents to read. They may be worthwhile, though, actually. I don't know about this as a registry gift.
On your registry.
Yeah. The books they included here, though, I think are pretty good.
If you are going to put books on
If you are going to put Brown Bear, it's one I've read probably over 5,000 times at this point.
It is their favorite book.
So that's a good pick there, especially for a board book. It's held up pretty well. Sassy Ring O-Links Rattle. I don't think too bad a rattle, especially at the $4 for Walmart, I think. Okay, yeah. Absolutely. For a budget
something I wouldn't
option.
I wouldn't put on a budget registry, though, also. I would honestly skip the toys.
Yeah, just skip the toys altogether.
If you must put a toy on there, I put one toy.
And then we have the weird category, which is general, which includes the Baby Delight Alpine Deluxe Portable Bouncer and in charcoal tweed. Okay, I dig the color. I don't know about this design. I especially don't like the tripod aspect of this design.
There are also cuter, more affordable options out there.
Yeah, at $80.
Mm-hmm. It's not a budget option.
Yeah, this is probably one that I would skip.
Even Target has it for $60, but there are more affordable options out there that look better than this.
Yeah, I don't think you get anything really with the hanging stuff. We use up to 20 pounds. Before we had the basic baby kit, now we have the ultimate baby kit in the general section.
This one, actually, I feel like it might be worth it. It has all of the things that the other one had, but it also has a thermometer, a rectal thermometer, and it has the 3-in-1 picker, which I love. Both of those are, I swear by.
Has the best items.
Yeah, and the Stot Sucker, fantastic. It has the Derma Frida, fantastic. We did not try it, but I always wanted one, and I heard good things about it. We did have some trouble with cradle cap. It's a pretty common thing. So to have something that would help take care of that is important. The other things that it does have that I'm not totally sure about are like teething, like things that you put in the freezer.
Oh, yeah.
I'm not sure how helpful that would necessarily be.
Yeah, I mean, we had a few items like that, and no, not really.
No, it doesn't seem like they want to, like, when they would actually be needing it doesn't seem like they necessarily want to. I don't know. I almost feel like this is worth it, though, for the things that it includes.
Yeah, you get everything, and it's your one-stop shop for
with this,
care,
you actually do know that you would be prepared. Even though there are some things that, like, for instance, the nail clipper, I wouldn't... You will still need a nail clipper. But for the first year, I wouldn't do that kind of nail clipper. You will know that you have everything that you need for your baby, though, with that. Yeah,
so maybe better off just skipping the basic one and just going with this one instead. Yeah. In terms of buying a registry, and maybe it's your budget and you have a friend, $100 is just fine for a gift, and then you don't have to worry about some of these like super essential items that you're going to get with that kit.
Yeah.
Okay, the next item on here is the Yoga Sleep Roam, I think is how you pronounce that. Yoga Sleep Roam Travel Sound Machine, and a lot of people swear by these portable sound machines. We never used one.
No, we didn't.
And I think got away with it pretty easily.
There is a highly rated, way more budget option than this, but it does not have as much function, I guess, as this one.
So this is actually kind of the premium option in terms of this, is what you're saying.
A little bit. The one that is most loved is, I believe, $10 more. So I'm not really sure if I would go with that one, but yeah, it is fairly budget.
Wild card, the cash and gift cards, I think that's always a nice thing, just to be able to have extra cash. That's what maybe you do instead of doing the diapers and the wipes.
They have a diaper fund option on Babylist, which I'm surprised they don't have on here instead. I think that's a better way to go.
Let's just talk about this budget registry overall and how it works and how it doesn't work. I think overall, as a baby registry, I would rate this one rather low.
Yes, I would say that
maybe we're used to like just way more thought through and well put together baby registries, but it seems like they punted on some things here and maybe didn't hit the budget. And certainly with all the duplicate items, it just seems very weird and not a good example of a baby registry.
Yeah, it's missing things too, so it's just...
Let's talk about duplicate items. Would it ever make sense to duplicate an item on a baby registry? I think you run the risk of maybe like people buying the same thing and then you don't need it at all.
Yeah.
If it's not a single-use item or an item that
I wouldn't put a duplicate item.
I don't
except
think it really
for
ever makes sense.
If you're having multiples. Or something like the burp rags. I would put multiple. No, for a singleton, I would only put 2 maximum. You're not going to need like 48 burp rags. I believe we only had about 18 altogether for 2 babies, and we never felt like we needed more.
So for the budget baby list registry, I would say probably not a registry for sure. I think there's some other strategies you could take if you're on a budget.
Yes.
If it's more that you don't think that your friends and family probably can afford some of these more expensive items, I think there's still another approach you could take in terms of the items that you're picking out for it. I would say as a reference, there might be a couple items in there that are good to look at. Obviously, if you've watched this entire podcast, then you've already done that, so you don't need to really go back and look at this registry ever again. But we thank you so much for watching. I just want to remind you that if you want a chance for us to look at your baby registry, specifically your baby registry, your personal baby registry, you can go on to pabbit.com and share your baby registry with us. There's a little form there where you can upload it. We'll have a link to that in the show notes. And hopefully on the next one of the future episodes, maybe even the next episode, we will be looking at your specific baby registry. But just keep in mind, we can't look at everybody's, so we're just going to pick the ones that we can get to and the ones that we want to look at. But go on there. And finally, if you need help with your own baby registry right now, then go to pabbit.com and take a look at the baby gear game plan. We would be happy to jump on a call with you and just see what ways that we could help and get you into the game plan. Thank you so much for joining us for the podcast. We will see you next week on Baby Registry Breakdown.